Mic check, mic check, mic check. Yeah, it's your boy Chaos. This is our PM segment. You already know. A new topic. You know what I'm saying? As always, subscribe to the channel if you may. You know what I'm saying? At DJ Chaos, the Mix Master, right here at YouTube. You know what I'm saying? If you got some kind of promotional things that, paraphernalia that you want to put out there, you can always hit me up at chaoticdjsmusic at gmail.com. You know what I'm saying? If you want to follow me on Facebook, follow me at Halo Jones at Facebook. Now, let's get to the rooter to the tutor of the segment, a topic. You know what I'm saying? Chris Rock addresses Will Smith slap and calls Jada Pinkett Smith a bitch. Well, if you've seen the Netflix special, that Chris Rock did back here over the weekend. I'm thinking last week or something. Maybe we got, I don't know, because time is moving so fast, y'all. I don't know if y'all know that or not, but Chris Rock finally broke his silence, and he basically brought up the situation with Will Smith and himself, at the Grammys, not Grammys, but what's that? All them goddamn award shows, all full of shit to me. But was the Oscars? Yeah, the Oscars. And he basically brought up the situation that everybody wanted to hear. How did he feel about the whole concept of him getting slapped by Will on that particular night that he hosted Oscars? You know, Chris Rock went on to say that, what I'm saying, that it's easy for a man of Will Smith's size to pick on a little guy like me. You know what I'm saying? To the fact where I'm not the one who basically, got you caught up in a situation with your wife. You know what I'm saying? Jada basically came at you with an entanglement story, you know what I'm saying? And you didn't even raise your hand to even do anything to her. You just sat there and just basically act like a bitch, you know what I'm saying? But I'm not saying what he said verbatim, but I'm just saying basically what he basically was specifying, like, Will Smith, that was a bitch move that you did towards me. And he basically called Jada a bitch because he felt like Jada is the cause of your stupidity on slapping the shit out of him like you did. And Chris Rock went on to basically talk bad about this, the Smith family, basically. You know what I'm saying? And it basically went viral of course, because it's drama, and a lot of us seem to love drama in this country. But he basically got he got a lot of thumbs up, and then he got a lot of thumbs down. The thumbs up was to the point where saying like Chris Rock finally come out and basically address the situation because this man was hurt on how Will Smith did him. And I don't blame him for basically firing back at Will because that was a lot of hurt and pain that he basically suffered behind that situation at the Oscars. On the thumbs down situation, people were like, how could you sit up there and talk about another man's wife, knowing that his wife had propecia, and she was basically not herself and pretty much hurting behind that. Here's my opinion, people. I feel like anytime you sit up there and let a woman dominate you and basically place you at the the bottom of the bed, at the foot of the bed, when you should be up there where she's at. You know what I'm saying? It basically makes you a wussy pussy because you basically let this woman basically run over you and basically dictate to you how she wants you to be. And that's how Jada basically came at Will. Throughout this whole relationship that they had was a bit weird to me. It was basically an odd couple type of situation because neither one of them didn't have nothing in common with each other. Because Will was more of a happy jipper type of guy, and Jada was more like hardcore. You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, you got to think about it, who she had was in cahoots with back in the day before Will Smith was even thought about, and that was Tupac. And Tupac was more of a masculine man that basically handled his business as far as his talks and things of that nature. You know what I'm saying? And Will Smith was just like, little fun guy, and one thing I can tell you, if you really watched Will Smith back in the days when he was in the hip hop scene, he was a much happy go lucky guy. Even to his rap music, it was more of a fun loving, just, hip hop. It was just happy times, you know what I'm saying? He basically was rapping about, positive things. But at the same time he didn't cross over into the mainstream of being an actor, you know what I'm saying, and doing TV shows and doing the TV show and movies. And as he was basically perpetuated to being in that lifestyle, it started basically taking a total on Will's mind anatomy. And not to mention, you marrying a woman like Jada Pickett, you know what I'm saying, who's basically have been brainwashed to be more masculine than feminine, as you can see, because the Jada that I know from back in the days, she was drop dead gorgeous. You know what I'm saying? And she loved herself more and knew more about the natural form of herself, but at the same time, she crossed over too. And you already know how the industry gets down when people cross over. They start basically manicuring these folks to be a weird type of individual. You know what I'm saying? I mean, especially when you want to get that paper, you got to do what they say. Most people might say that's a conspiracy theory and all that other shit, but I mean, just think about it. Look at how she was acting then compared to how she acting now. Like I said, you just never know what people go through until you're wearing their shoes. And the same thing was, with Will, you know what I'm saying? That dude was basically had a lot of built up hurt up in him because Hollywood basically seen Will as a weakling. Even to the point when him and Jada had that conversation on her table talk program, where she basically talked about her relationship with the singer, what was his name, Augusta, whatever the hell the little nigga name is, but he's a friend of her son, Jalen, Smith, Jaden Smith, you know what I'm saying, but and how she had an entanglement with the dude or whatever the case may be. And Will just stood up there and looked like a dunce hat. He ain't do nothing. He ain't said nothing. But just like, like a little kid, when you put him on punishment, when you whoop his ass, you know what I'm saying, you explain why you whooped his ass. And he just sit there with tears in his eyes, like, okay, I'll get it, whatever, whatever you say, all right, because you the parent. And that's basically what Jada was doing with Will. And all that built up information basically carried over through his life. And so when you had Chris Rock basically hosting the Oscars and last year in 2022, Chris Rock wasn't just fucking with Jada Pinkett. He was fucking with a whole lot of people in the audience. You know what I'm saying? But even when he said the little G.I. Jane joke, it basically won Will Smith over because he really wasn't paying attention. He was laughing and giggling. But everybody speculated when Jada gave Will that look, like, you gonna sit there and let this man say something about me? That's when he changed his whole persona and got up and basically went up to the stage and slapped Chris Rock in the face. And that's a bitch move. That's the reason why Chris Rock called Will what he said. He was like, that's a bitch move, which it was. because you can't even address your wife, but you gonna come and get mad at me because I made a little simple joke. He didn't know that woman had propecia. All he was just doing was just saying this basically I mean, and I'm sure that shit probably was scripted, you know what I'm saying? To where he was basically saying everything that he written down on the damn that was going across the prompter. But the moral of the story is it just goes to show you what kind of society we live in. It's more easy to be a demasculated feminist guy than being emasculated and strong, protecting his family. But this is what they want a lot of us to go along with. Me myself, and I don't fall for the banana in the tailpipe because I know what it stands for by them basically demasculating the black man to be the weakling in society, in Western society anyway. And this is what we got going on. And this is why Will did what he did in front of the world. Because now you have people, including white people, saying like, damn, black men don't even know how to hold water. They don't know how to basically, what I'm saying, be manly enough to basically have a decent conversation with each other without getting mad with each other and want to kill each other. And this is basically the problem right here, you know. But shout out to Chris Rock for basically addressing the situation. He got it off his chest. You know what I'm saying? And if y'all feel some type of way about him getting it off his chest, then you ain't no better than how society basically is set up as far as a man basically standing his ground, talking how he feel about certain things. Even though a lot of people said Chris Rock should have knocked the fuck out of him. But Chris Rock basically had stated on Netflix on that little comedy show that, this guy, Will Smith, is a bigger guy than I am. I'm a little bitty guy. Hell, he said I played Pookie on New Jack City, a crackhead. Fucking Will Smith played Muhammad Ali on the movie Ali. So, I mean, that's a big ass difference. But, you know, it is what it is. But like I say, shout out to Chris Rock. And I got love for both of them. Even Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith. But I just don't like the way things are going down in this today's society, in this new so-called new normal generation. I can't stand it. I hate it. And it needs to we need to basically put an end to all this feminine bullshit. That's just my opinion, like this podcast. Much love and respect to you guys. And your boy Chaos signing out. Peace.